Okay, let's get this thing started. Hey guys, welcome back to my pregnancy series. I haven't sat down and made a blog post or even a video in about 2 months since our gender reveal. And now I'm in my 3rd trimester. So I figured I would write a blog post and do a video all about my 2nd trimester. So before I start, I just want to say, holy crap, where has the time gone, for one? 2, I know I say this all the time, but I can't believe I'm pregnant, let alone in my 3rd trimester of pregnancy. In like 2-ish months, our baby boy will be here, and I just can't wrap my head around any of it. Partially, I think it's because I've always dreamed of having kids, and to have it actually happen almost just seems like a dream. Like I'm living this dream. Time's going by so fast. No matter how much I soak each moment, each day in, I feel like I can't grasp time enough. It's the weirdest feeling. I'm sure first-time moms or moms in general know where I'm coming from, but other than that, I've just felt so great that I sometimes even forget that I'm pregnant, and then like he'll move, or I'll go to do something and realize like my bump, and I'm like, oh, hey, there's that friendly reminder, you're pregnant. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to start off by saying that because it's weird thinking that I'm going to be having a baby soon. It's crazy. But let's get started. I will kind of give you like an overview of my 2nd trimester, some things I noticed, some things I experienced, and just like my overall picture of how things went. And I'm going to reference my blog post on my 2nd trimester like I usually do. It just kind of keeps my thoughts in order and keeps me on track because I'm really good at getting distracted. So let's begin. One other thing I wanted to say was I honestly thought the 3rd trimester started at week 30. I don't know why, just mathematically that's what I thought. And then I realized, no, it starts at week 28. And I was like already past 28 weeks pregnant, and I was like, I'm in my 3rd trimester. Like, what? So that was a surprise to me. And I'm about to be 29 weeks pregnant as I'm filming this. So in 2 days, I will be 29 weeks. So if you are familiar with pregnancy lingo, they say that the 2nd trimester is your honeymoon phase, and that's because your morning sickness usually subsides, food aversions go away, and you regain your energy back. And although my 1st trimester was bearable, like I could get by day by day without too much complaints, I totally see why it's called the honeymoon phase, because comparing the 2 trimesters, I was miserable in the 1st compared to the 2nd, but I definitely didn't have it as bad as some women in the 1st. But after experiencing the 2nd trimester, I still ask myself, how in the hell, excuse my French, did I get through my 1st trimester? But that's besides the point. I would say at the end of that, around like week 11 or 12, I slowly started to feel like myself again. I started getting my energy back, my full appetite back. My food aversions went away, sensitivity to smells went away. And then by the very beginning of my 2nd trimester, week 13 and 14, I felt pretty much how I felt prior to becoming pregnant. So the first half of my second trimester, other than having all my first trimester symptoms go away, I didn't notice too much change until about week 16. And even then, the only change I noticed was just my belly growing. And literally at week 16, I like popped overnight. However, for the next like 4 or so weeks, probably like 6 weeks, maybe more actually, I was still in that awkward phase of, is she pregnant? Did she eat too many tacos? Is that a beer belly? No one really knows for sure. And then obviously you guys know around 20 weeks, that's the halfway point of pregnancy. And that's usually when you find out the gender. And again, you guys should know this, we're having a baby boy. The previous video, it explains all of that and shows a little bit of our gender reveal. So check that out if you haven't. I also wrote a blog post all about it too. So make sure you read that as well. And like I said, by then, that's probably when I started creeping out of that awkward stage of, is she pregnant or is she just fat type of phase. So once we found out the gender of our little dude, we were instantly happy, excited, like things just started to feel more real. Like we were having a baby boy. Like we knew what we could buy, what we wanted to buy, and things just started settling in. However, I still did not feel like I was pregnant. Like it felt real, but it didn't feel real at the same time. So we started shopping, putting together a registry, and even started narrowing down our list of baby boy names. But a big but here. Sorry to disappoint you all, but we do not have a name picked out yet. So don't ask. I know that's like, now that's the most commonly asked question. Once you find out the gender, it's, what are you naming him? What's his name? Have you picked a name? We do not have a name, and that is my honest answer. We've probably changed his name 3 to 4 times now. And I don't want to commit on a name because in 4 weeks from now, I'm probably going to change it again. So my plan is we have like 2 or 3 top names, and we're just going to kind of like feel them out, see how we like them over the next couple of months. And when he comes out, we're going to decide on his name. And no, I will not be sharing our like top name choices. That's just a personal preference because I want to make sure we're picking a name that we love, that rolls off the tongue nicely, and also means something to us. I don't want to feel like I picked a name because of like what society was pressuring us to do or what friends or family thought was better. I didn't think picking a name would be this difficult, but a lot of people have strong opinions. And yes, I know no one else's opinion matters. Trust me, I know that. And that's why I don't even like talk about baby names anymore because I get so annoyed. But I do just ask you to please respect my husband and I's decision on not sharing the name and not revealing it until he's born. Also, please don't try to pick our child's name for us. So when the topic comes up, and this is kind of why I just don't talk about the topic anymore. I say, we're not really sure what we want to name him. We have a few in mind, but nothing's, standing out to us. We're going to wait until he's born. People just start rattling off names, telling me names they like or what would sound good. And I know they have good intentions behind it and they mean well, but that's what you like, that's what, you know, you prefer, but at the end of the day, it's going to be what means the most to my husband and I. So I just ask that you guys respect that. So now that we got that out of the way, since that's the question everyone needs to know at this point, let's move on. So after week 20, things definitely started changing. I noticed changes in my body, my emotions, I started to feel pregnant physically, not necessarily mentally though. And there have been a lot of gross experiences and symptoms of pregnancy. I'm not going to go into too much detail just because, well, you guys probably don't want to listen to that, but read my blog post. It has a little more information if you do want to know. But back pain was like a huge symptom for me right at like 20 weeks. It just came out of nowhere, and I don't really have it that much anymore. So it like lasted for like a week or two, and now it only comes like with for obvious reasons. Like if I'm standing too long, if I'm sitting in a certain position too long, if the way I'm sleeping is awkward, like it's not necessarily I have constant back pain unless, like I said, I'm forcefully doing something. Which leads me to my next point. I'm very particular with how I have to sleep, but not just with how I have to sleep, but with like everything. So I'm a very routine oriented person, but even more so with pregnancy. Like if I don't carve out time for myself in the morning and have my little morning routine, my whole day is like just thrown off. And even sometimes in the evening, like I have to unwind in the evening, even more so now than I did previously. Another example is I can't drink plain water. Plain water is not disgusting to me. It's not like I have an aversion to it. I'll drink it, but I always have this nasty taste in my mouth if I drink just plain water. So I've been adding like this much like organic lemonade to my water bottles, like just literally like a splash. And it has to be filled with ice. It has to be super, super ice, like icy cold. It has to have a splash of lemonade in it. And I will drink water all day long and have no gross taste in my mouth. So that's like a very particular, whether it's craving or whatever you want to call it, that's something I've noticed. And same with like how like my clothing fits. Like it may look good, but if it doesn't feel good, it throws my whole day off. Like I just want to end up changing into sweats and going on the couch. And I just want to take my clothes off, put sweats on, and sit on the couch. Like it really does throw off my whole day. And I'm still trying to figure out like what fits over the bump, what doesn't, things like that. And then like other than that, it's just been like random aches and pains. My belly is stretching. He is growing by the second. So there's just a lot of like random aches and pains. Again, nothing too severe. Everything's normal. And then seeing my belly grow. So I would say at about week 25, I had like that pop, women say, like you just pop. Week 16, I developed a bump, but week 25 was when it was like, oh girl, you're pregnant. And that, again, it happened overnight, came out of nowhere, and now there's no hiding it unless I'm in like a big sweatshirt like this. And even then, if I'm like standing up, you can kind of tell. But on the plus side, I kind of found some clothing that are actual maternity clothes that I fit into. It's very few and far between. I usually just wear the same clothes that I have, just in a bigger size. And I'm very grateful for that because I'm not breaking the bank too much. But I did splurge and spend some money on pieces like jeans and a coat. And even then, I'm an extra small and they're still a little big. But I don't I don't see the purpose in going like crazy, because every month your stomach is growing, and what you fit into 2 months ago, you're not going to fit into present day or in 2 months from now. So I've been living in athletic leggings and sweatshirts and yoga pants and stuff like that. If you guys can't tell by these videos, I'm always in something comfy. So obviously with my belly growing, that means he's growing, and feeling him move, like I didn't think I'd feel him move, I didn't think I'd feel him move as much as I do. But I don't know if I mentioned this in a previous video, but the way my placenta is positioned inside of me, I can actually feel him a lot more than like some other women can feel their babies, just because it's in the back and really high. So sometimes it's in the front and acts like a cushion to other moms. But this like child, I swear, he's awake from about 4 p.m. to 3 a.m. and a little bit throughout the day, but mainly those are like his prime I'm gonna jab mom in the gut hours. He is getting closer and closer to my ribs. I felt him kick my ribs twice. It's painful. That is the truth. It is very painful, and it startles me. I jump with certain movements because they're so forceful. But it's so fun to feel him move, and to get Mark to feel him move. Reread to him every night. He does not move though when you read to him, but we'll be sitting here and watching TV or something, and he'll be squirming around. But like when we lay down for bed and Mark reads to him, or even I read to him, I don't feel movement. And then I'll like try to fall asleep and he's moving. One more thing I wanted to touch on, and maybe I will even do a separate video and blog post on, is weight gain. So I know I've stressed before, or not stressed, but I was expressed concerns of me not gaining weight. I was losing it and I wasn't even sick. And I was afraid that, I was going to be put on a booster and I was going to blow up, blah, 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 blah. I've gained a total of 10 pounds, and I'm very proud of that, because that means I'm right on track. And that means the baby is going to be growing a half a pound every week until he's born. So obviously, I'm going to be gaining weight too. And I can definitely feel that I am. I feel it in my face, even though no one says anything. I'm not saying I'm fat, but I can totally feel my face and neck swelling. So that's okay though. It's all for good reason. And like I said, maybe I will do a whole post on that, because I know that used to be a fear of mine, of getting pregnant and getting really, really big and not being able to lose the weight and having all these health problems. But if that's not the case, I could go on a whole rant about that, but I'm going to save that for another time. And then I'm just going to end it here. It's been a pretty long post, pretty long video, so I just want to remind any women watching this, pregnant or not pregnant, this is my pregnancy journey, and although I decided to document and share it with everyone, please don't compare yourself to me. It's very easy to get lost in the comparison black hole. I do it all the time, more than I'd like to admit, but I just want you to remember that every woman is different, every pregnancy is different, and what's happening for me may not happen for you, and vice versa. So just keep that in mind. And then I also just want to say, again, thank you so much for always watching these and reading my blog posts and just supporting all my pregnancy doings. And I see every message, every comment, and nothing goes unnoticed. And I love you guys, and I just want to say your support means so much to me. I will see you next time.